Hello, everyone. We're excited to have you. Welcome to our Digitizing Real Estate Operations with Monday.com webinar today. We're going to give people a little bit more time to get into the webinar. But when you're here, if you don't mind, put your location in the chat. New York, LA, who do we have in the house today? Hello, Holly, Atlanta, Sacramento. Woo! All right. Wow, UK, welcome. Deb's in Guatemala. Cool. Greece. Wow, international group today. We're so excited. What's up, Philly? More UK, Florida, Portugal. It's exciting. Amazing group already.
I think we've covered all time zones.
I think we have all the time zones at this point. Yeah, that's great. Cool. All right. Thank you, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Give everyone one more minute and we'll get started. Cool. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. All right, let's see if we hit 1:30 and we'll do this thing. All right, here we go. Thanks, everyone. So excited to welcome you to our webinar today. Sunny already saying hello to his fan club who attended. Welcome. So excited to have you. If you want to go to the next slide, Gideon. Click. Awesome. My name is Kat Heisler. I'm a senior partner channel manager here at Monday.com. So excited to co-host this amazing webinar with some really excellent speakers from the real estate space. Let's just quickly go through the agenda so you know what you're getting into today. So this is the introduction. Again, welcome. I'm going to do super short slides on Monday.com just so you know who we are, what we're doing, and some exciting latest news. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Monday Plus Real Estate, right? That's what we're really here for, to understand how Monday.com can actually digitize those operations, make your life a lot easier. So Gideon is going to be covering that. Then we have two amazing guest speakers. We have Emily Smith and we have Sunny Agarwal. They are titans in the real estate industry. Apparently, a lot of you already know them. Real life users of our platform and Purple Plum's consulting services. And what they've created in tandem with us is just absolutely incredible. So excited to show you what they've learned and what you can take away from this webinar today. Lastly, we're going to show you a little sneak peek of real estate templates that are going to be accessible to everyone who is at the webinar today, which is going to be amazing, get you a really great jump start on replicating some of the successful strategies our two co-speakers here have implemented at their organizations. And then we'll round it out with a Q&A. So at the bottom of your screen, you're going to see a little Q&A icon. Please feel free to put in questions as they come up. We're going to address them at the end of the webinar today, and anything we don't get to, we'll get back to you on email. So thanks again, and let's begin. Next slide, Gideon. So Monday.com, for those of you who don't know Monday.com, we are a work operating system. And our goal as a technology, as in a platform, is to give the tools to our users to better manage their projects, automate workflows, and help foster more team collaboration. At the highest level, that's what Monday does the best, right? We want to make you more efficient. We want to make people work together more collaboratively. And we want to give you more insight on how your operations are going within your organization. So how do we do that? Very quickly, what we do is actually on the next slide, you can see we've developed a collection of building blocks. And these building blocks in our product help actually shape the organizational tracking of those projects, of those workflows, and help everyone within your organization actually see what's going on to make them more impactful at their job, right? So all of this is going to come to life for you as we go through the presentation. And one more slide here, Gideon, or I think we have two. Just about Monday, we already do this for over 125,000 customers around the world. So we serve almost every industry you can think of. But again, thanks to the building blocks and partners like Purple Plum, we can actually configure them into solutions and templates and organized structures specifically for your business. And that's what we're really here to talk about today. How do we apply Monday.com specifically for the real estate segment? Next slide. Little more about us. We were founded in 2012. We're over 700 people globally. We have had an amazing run as an organization, just serving more and more clients, solving more and more problems. And our big final news for me is that on last Thursday, we actually went public. So we are officially a public company as of Thursday. I actually got to go to the NASDAQ. It was the first time I was like released into the wild and got to see people and my colleagues after a year of working with Monday, and it was amazing. And what this really means for you is, increased investment, better products, better solutions. Even though we just went public, we're certainly just getting started. So enough about Monday as a standalone company. Let's make this hyper relevant for our audience here. On that note, I'd like to pass it on to Gideon, the president of Purple Plum Consulting. Oh, very important. Sorry, go back. Gift for all of our attendees here. Everyone who's attended, you are eligible for a double discount from Monday.com and from Purple Plum Consulting. So if you are an existing or considering Monday.com as your work operating system, as a guest of our webinar today, we're going to extend you 10% off your licensing. And Gideon's team at Purple Plum will also extend a 10% off professional services coupon for all of our attendees to make sure we can take Monday and make it totally bespoke for you. So that's more than $1,000. That's my little commercial. But now let's get started with the good content. Pass it to you, Gideon.
Thank you very much, Kath. Okay, quickly a little bit of background about us in Purple Plum. We were founded about 3 years ago. We are now a channel partner of Monday.com, and as Kath alluded to, there are partners around the world really representing Monday, expanding Monday, and really taking it to the next level. We're based in Atlanta, Georgia, here in the US, and we have a focus on both selling Monday.com as well as professional services, and we offer a real spectrum of services from upfront strategy and consulting through implementation and training. In terms of me personally and my adventure with Monday.com, it started about 3 years ago where I kind of stumbled into it looking for, at the time, a to-do list piece of software. And little did I know what I had walked into. And immediately I saw the potential of Monday.com as a platform that was going to be really huge. And it certainly met those expectations and even exceeded those expectations. And I had the opportunity to meet with the founders early on and really get a sense of the energy, the vision, and the constant growth. And just on a personal note, we partners get weekly updates from Monday. And one of the highlights, I think every Monday morning, we wait for the weekly new features email from the Monday team for our little dopamine fix. Because every week almost there's something new, something exciting that really keeps us motivated and engaged to get the word out. So that's some background on Purple Plum. As we switch to real estate, which is why everyone's here, what we've tried to just capture on this slide is I think a series of themes that are evident across the board, whether you're in a small brokerage, a large investment company, or anywhere in between. There's challenges of organization, of structure, of spreadsheets flying around, emails flying around. No one knows who's doing what all the time. Things get lost, things fall through the cracks. Sometimes you don't know what's going on. Just a lot of opportunity to bring process and structure and workflow and standardization. And that set of challenges is perfectly met and meant for Monday.com. So with that in mind, what we've seen, and this is something that has evolved over the last couple of years, is that there are many use cases that are just a perfect fit in the broader real estate space for Monday.com, whether that be within commercial real estate and managing large deals and in investors and financing behind those deals, certainly the broad residential real estate space, managing listings through their life cycle, handling offers from third-party agents, rentals, HOAs, integration with the big players such as Zillow and the various MLSs, over onto the property management side. So continuing to keep buildings healthy and safe and current with maintenance requests and facilities management, inspections, all the way through to construction and renovations, and then all the back office stuff, right? The mixed bag of marketing and lead management, compliance, training, agent onboarding, HR. Believe it or not, every one of these little bubbles is something that has been done with Monday.com probably many times over, and this is not even an exhaustive list. So really, each one of you on this call should be able to find a couple of bubbles that say, hey, we need that, we need help, and Monday.com is a perfect platform to facilitate that. One of the other real positives of Monday.com is, in addition to what the platform itself offers, Monday recognizes that it can't be everything to everyone. So there's a perfect environment, a perfect framework to integrate with some of the larger players and technologies that each of you are familiar with. You mentioned Zillow and MLSs, various CRM systems like Follow Up Us and HubSpot, even your collaboration systems, Microsoft Teams, Slack, financial systems, signature systems. All of these systems are easily attached to Monday.com in a very low tech, low effort way. And that's really another big plus that we see with our customers, and including the ones that we have on the call today. Finally, what I wanted to just give you a preview of, and we'll share this a little bit later, is through our work with various customers like Sunny and Emily, we've been able to develop a series of templates that allow customers to jumpstart their implementation with Monday.com. We have a series of boards, of dashboards, all ready to go with automations, with sample charts, with sample flows that will give you, 75% of what you need, and then you fine tune it and tailor it to your own organization's needs and requirements. And all of those are available to you for free as a result of signing up for this webinar. So I feel like this is a TV commercial. Not only do we give you the discounts for software and for professional services, but we're giving you a jump start of the actual templates themselves, which are not available on the Monday.com website. So that's really what I wanted to share about Purple Plum and how we've really been able to focus on the real estate space. And now I'm going to hand it over to our speakers, starting with Emily. And I'll obviously let her do her thing. But the one thing I wanted to share about Emily is, in our conversations with her as a customer, she once got on a call and she said, Gidon, I just got to let you know, for me, Monday.com is like a big art project. I look forward to getting in there and every day and creating art. And that really says a lot, because for a piece of technology to be viewed as art and fun and exciting, and at the same time solving business problems and adding value is the best possible message that one could want to have. So I'll hand it over to Emily.
Thanks, Gidon. I love that as an intro. And it's true. I do feel very strongly that Monday.com it's practical, it's beautiful, and it does feel like you're building this big, giant, beautiful piece of a puzzle. And so an operations mind like mine, so for those of you out there listening that sit in that seat, behind the scenes, it's really fun to build those pieces. For those of you that are agents and you're like, oh, I don't like building the pieces, I want to just use it. That is the best part of Monday.com. Once it's built and it's ready to go, it becomes incredibly intuitive and user-friendly for the front end. So for those of you that are agents, those templates that Gidon mentioned make it easy for you to hit the ground running and not have to worry about the art project. For those of you like me that like the art project, you have the ability to get behind the scenes and do that too. So we'll talk more about that this morning. I am Emily Smith. I am the COO of independent brokerage Weimer Group Realty down in Orlando, Florida. And you can see our stats on your screen there, but we're most proud that we served 934 families last year with our team for $285 million. We have 25 team members that have been with the team 5 years or more. Right now, we're a team of just a little over 70 total. We are highly staffed in order to leverage our agents to the fullest so they can go out and be agents and do what they do best. And then we come behind them and do what we do best, which is build these great systems so that they can go out and work with more families. So I'm very excited to be here with you all today. I also want to just take a quick minute to thank Sunit, who's on, all of you are superstar fans of Sunit, so I'm glad that you're here. But Sunit introduced us to Gidon, and our relationship with Gidon has changed what I believe is kind of the future of what our brokerage looks like. We were able to build out some amazing things using Gidon's team and his services over the last few months. So they don't pay me to say that on this webinar. I'm just telling you it's changed where we're going in the landscape of what we're able to accomplish in-house. And I'm proud to show you some of those pieces this morning here. So Gidon, if you'll go ahead and go to the next slide for me. I want to start by telling you how we ended up here, because I think it's important for those of you to that are out there that are thinking through your own technology to know what led us to Monday. So in real estate, those of you that are here know that we have to use a lot of pieces and parts and systems and lots of different tools because they don't all speak to each other, or we need different things for different parts of our businesses. And it's even more complicated in the real estate world because we're talking across states, or we're talking about different brokerages, or we're even talking about, across the world. So we have all these different MLSs and different pieces and parts that we have to integrate. And so we found ourselves in an extreme amount of pain through growing into serving those 934 families, trying to keep everything streamlined and trying to keep the system side as easy as possible for our staff sitting in the seats and for the agents in the field. And as we got bigger and we needed more and more pieces, I felt like it was getting more and more complicated by the day. So we went to work and interviewed, I think, every company on the planet to try to solve this problem. And ultimately I landed in Sunit's, we did this, we were Zooming and I was like, Sunit, I think you have some solutions. What are you doing? And that's where the introduction to Gidon and his team came into play. And that's when we really started to look at Monday as an all-in-one solution for creating a different world for ourselves that could eliminate lots of other technology pieces. So we needed something though that it's on the screen, but it would scale our needs. It would give us a lot of flexibility in our workflow. There are some really amazing software companies out there that do amazing things when it comes to transactions, or it comes to HR, or it comes to whatever it is. But we wanted the flexibility to make it look and feel and work the way we wanted. And when you're working with another company that owns, that proprietary technology, they get to determine what columns you can and can't manipulate. They get to determine what things you can turn on and off. So we needed to be able to say, no, this is exactly how we want it to go to work best for us. We also wanted something, and Gidon mentioned this earlier, that could integrate with a lot of the other softwares that we already use. We're huge Follow Up Boss fans down here at Weimer Group Realty. We use it every day. It's like the gold in our business. And to know that we could pair Monday.com with Follow Up Boss for us was a huge piece of that puzzle of bringing this together. It also integrates with DocuSign, which is another huge piece of our business. So knowing we could streamline into only 3 major technology systems and eliminate the rest of the noise allowed us to feel like this was the right thing for us. Our breaking point really came when I had agents freaking out over technology, and we joke that when someone's crying in the parking lot, you have to fix it, something's wrong. And so it's just when there are too many apps to remember, or too many things to remember, or too many places to have to go check, it's too hard. And so to me, I felt that we were going to have mutiny if we didn't do something about it. So Gidon, go ahead and go to the next slide. And now let me tell you why we chose Monday. We chose it because we saw quickly that it could scale what we were already doing. We're working with 930 families last year. We're poised to work with over 1,000 families this year, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. So we needed technology that could grow with us. We needed that flexibility I already mentioned so that we could scale any way we wanted. And so as we grew, we had control over how that went and how the flexibility went. We also wanted to integrate with those other software pieces, like I mentioned. And then at the core of it, I wanted agents to not be frustrated by a new technology change. I wanted them to look at the user interface and go, this is so simple, or, oh, this is easy, and have it be that very intuitive piece. And I have found it to be true when we've trained our agents into using this and our staff. They're easily able to access everything that they need to see, not just on their desktop, but for those agents out in the field running all day long on their phones. And that was one of the most important pieces. Agents had to have that intuitive user experience, but it also had to be mobile friendly so that they could look on the go and get what they needed. For us, we decided from the start that we were going to brainstorm all of the different ways that this could replace all of that extraneous technology. And so we made an aggressive path to build out a whole lot of pieces into the system very quickly. And so we built out a transaction management system so that our agents can interact with that and use it as more of a way to check in, see their dates and deadlines, see what's happening behind the scenes, and that our staff is working in it. So our staff is working behind the scenes, and Monday, our agents have some views that allow them to see what's going on with their transaction behind the scenes. Offer portal, we've built a portal out so that when an agent wants to make an offer on MLS, they get a quick link. We'll show you this in a bit. Where they have a form, they can fill it out. It's nice and easy, and it comes right into our portal, and the agent can manage right from there. We've built an incredible brokerage metrics and tracking and projection system for ourselves that pulls from multiple boards and places. We've built an office management piece, marketing daily, weekly. We're able to keep up with our projects. We can distribute projects amongst, we can set deadlines and due dates for those things, and now easily see who has what in their hands. HR and hiring management. This one is a lifesaver for me in particular, since a lot of that falls on my seat, but it allows us to have a process where a form can be on our website. A new agent who wants to be a part of the brokerage can fill out that form, comes right on into our dashboard, and all of the right things start happening behind the scenes so that we can schedule interviews. It keeps us organized so we know where we are with these people. And then if we choose to move them forward, they drop right into the system. And then leads. This is a place for us where we're managing our referral relationships with agents like you around the country. And so I saw lots of places and spaces on the screen. And we have a place for our agents to keep track of their referral partners so they can easily refer to each other as partners that have been successful for them across the business. So now let's show you a couple of those things so you can get your eyeballs on what we're talking about. Because I know for me, like it's one thing to hear about it, but it's another thing to actually really see this thing in practicality. So the first thing that you're seeing on your screen is our brokerage metrics and tracking board. And I think it's important to probably tell you that these numbers are just, they're fillers just for the screen. So these aren't our real numbers right this minute. But what you'll see is the metrics, and no one is creating this per se. This is all being pulled from all of the data across the systems behind the scenes in Monday.com. So as we work our transactions and things moved into closed status for us, all of this data is being pulled right into this brokerage metric board. And if you'll go to the next slide, we've got a couple of other, this board goes on forever with all of the things that we are tracking as a brokerage of, when are things closing, or when did they close? What are our top 20 zip codes for the year? Because that's important to us. Or what are our top lead sources? We have a board that's very similar to this, that is a projection board. And it shows us what are we looking at for the future. And as operations, or as even like a broker for your team, it's really nice to see all of these metrics in one glance, pulling from all of your different places and spaces across the system. The other nice thing is that we can easily filter and sort this board by agent. So if I wanted to see what a particular agent on the team is doing and see all of these same metrics, so what is their, closed volume, or what is their, commission percentage for the buy side versus the list side for the year, or what zip codes are they closing in, I can pull it up at a glance. And I believe that this is a template that Gidon's team will be sharing with you all later. So that's very exciting. This is a game changer for us at a glance to know our numbers and be able to see it without any extra effort. We've built, I told you, transaction management, starting at coming soon. What you're looking at on your screen now is a very brief glance at the active listing board. We have lots of different people that live in this board, and they all have different views. So one of the powers of Monday is that my listing coordinator can live in a board with a client care coordinator, which is a transaction manager, and they can have completely different orders of columns. They can see things the way that they need to see it. They can sort things the way that they need to see it and not interrupt each other's workflows. And that is massive for us. So for us, we start in coming soon, it goes to active. So it comes over to this board. Once it goes from active to an executed contract, it's going to go to that next slide. So we don't, if you'll switch one more for me, it's going to go to our pending board. And this pending board is what I would call our magic. So this is where all of our pendings, buy side and list side, live. When a new file comes in behind the scenes, it comes into this board, and our transaction managers are able to pick up the ball from here. All of their tasks are automatically assigned to them based on all of the pieces and parts. So if we put in that this is a cash offer versus something that is financed, they're going to have different tasks. If we put in that this is new construction versus resale, they're going to have different tasks that pop up for them. And if you'll look at the top up there, I'll just draw your attention to the button that says automate. You'll notice we have 158 automations running behind the scenes on this board. And so the power of Monday is that, again, the art project person, me, gets to go in with someone like Gidon and his team and decide, like, how do we need to make this work best for us? So we've preset all of those rules that make all of these pieces and parts work. But as we work through our systems, these things generate tasks for the girls that they can, they're all female, so I say girls, but all the girls can work through their transaction management one file at a time and see what they need to see, and it all pops up in the right timing for them. Gidon, go ahead and go to the next slide. Our offer portal, I wanted to show you what a form looks like. So in Monday, it is super easy to generate a form based on your dashboard. So Gidon, we've switched back one screen for me. So when actually, I'm sorry, go forward one screen for me. I apologize, the other direction. So when an offer comes in, it's going to drop onto this screen here for us. And I wanted you to see how this works. So Gidon, if you'll go back to what the form looks like one more time. So when we're inputting our listing into MLS, we are adding a link that Monday generates for us. And again, really easy, like 2 clicks. And we're taking this form and we're dropping the link right in MLS and saying, here are your offer instructions. Please fill out this form for us if you'd like to submit an offer. There's a place within this form to upload the contract, to upload the addendums, to upload anything you need to upload. You can add notes here as the submitting agent. And then when it submits, it comes into that next screen and it drops into our portal, and our agents are notified right away that they have a new offer. And we wanted to show you what this looks like on mobile because agents are in the field. So when you're in the field and a new offer comes in, they can really quickly scroll through that offer and see what the terms are. We have automation set up in the back end of this board that when we hit accepted offer, it will auto email the agent and say, congratulations, we've accepted the offer. Here are the next steps. If we hit declined, it will automatically email the agent and say, I'm so sorry, our seller has chosen another offer. We wish your buyer absolutely the best of luck, because if your market's like ours, we feel bad for those buyers right now because they're all looking for properties. Or multiple offers. We've set this so that if our agent goes in and says, ooh, we're going to multiple offers, they can choose a multiple offer date and time and hit multiple offers, and it will email out to those agents saying multiple offers are due, final and best are due at this time. And we appreciate you getting those in on time. So the offer management board for us is an easy way to keep track of our offers for agents on the go, to see how many they have for property, to easily sort those and to be able to look through the terms. We've also created a client-centric view of this where it's just showing the clients the terms that they might want to see. So are there any contingencies? What are they asking for? What are the extra, what's the escrow look like? And all just the basics, so that an agent can share that in view only, or they can pull it down and share it with a client if they needed to, in order to present multiple offers, because in our market, we're dealing with a lot of offers per property. Gidon, if you'll go to the next slide. This is also something I'm really excited about that we were able to generate, and this is a huge time saver for us. Before we went to this process, it was taking our compliance manager about 20 minutes to do a DA and to put all of the pieces and parts in place so that we could send this off to title in Florida so that we could pay all the right parties. We have used an integration with inside of Monday. So when she has one status button, and when she clicks it and says, I'm ready to generate the DA, it gathers all of the information from all of the columns in all the right places, and it auto fills out this form, and it signs and dates it, and it drops it right into the right column so that our transaction managers can pick it right up and send it to title and have everything be ready to go. So this is a huge time saver for us. This was something that I didn't know we would get to And so when we realized we had this ability to do this in Monday, now we're dreaming up all of these other ways, like MLS status change forms that we could pre-fill out 90% of it and then send it to another agent and say, hey, just sign this and send it in. Or how do we save time? These are the ways. And these are the ways that you can cut down and get more from your staff, and give them back some of their sanity, because they can do things with the push of one button. So will you go ahead and go to the next slide for me? All right, so the results. And I know that was a very, very fast view of kind of what we're using this for. The visibility and the management for agents to be able to do this from their phones, from their cars, from a kitchen table when their clients are upstairs checking out the bedrooms is massive. It changes our world. They can access information they need on the fly. When they look in a file, they can see where they're at on their dates. They could grab contact information for the lender or the title company or whatever they need right out of that file. And so it streamlines their world so they are not looking in 6 places for the information that they need. It streamlines our world because it cut out for us about 5 other pieces and systems. So we were able to literally eliminate 5 other things out of our world to put everything in one place. So we're now living in one dashboard, going into that HR or into compliance or into the pieces and parts in our system. And then we were able to scale, like I said, so we can build automations. We're in, we don't know if it's level 2 or level 7 over here, but we're like, oh, 7.1 iteration. And we just keep dreaming about how to save time. And the ideas are flying. Our teammates have ideas and they're saying, hey, if we could fill out the form for the DAs, why can't we fill out the MLS status change form? Or why couldn't we do this? And we just keep adding those things that are saving us time. So when you're able to scale the system and the time savings, it means less staff needs. So you can hold back on having to hire more staff. Our girls are able to hold 10 to 15 extra files at a time than they were before Monday. So again, like big time savings on the staff and operations side for us.
Okay,
all right.
Emily, I could just be watching for another hour. I think you have everyone captivated. Awesome job. Thank you so much. I think you've really given everyone a real taste of what Monday can do on the day-to-day, in the weeds management of transactions, and really super interesting and very well delivered. So thank you for that. We're going to switch gears over to Sunny. And let me just do a quick intro of Sunny, because Sunny is really a different flavor of Monday, right? So Sunny, I have to credit with being the visionary several years ago of where Monday could go in terms of helping the broader real estate world. He saw that potential very early on, and I remember receiving a call from him on a Sunday morning, and I never pick up my phone for work on a Sunday morning, and it was Sunny. And it says, hey, dude, when can we get started? So, you remember that? And anyone that picks up the call on Sunday, I'm ready to work with. And that was the beginning of our working partnership together. And really, Sunny is super connected, super helpful, as of course is Emily, and have really been, I guess, visionaries in terms of where Monday can go with real estate, and have been great proponents of Monday, just on their own time, not getting paid to do it. Because they see the value that they've obviously gained, and they want to share that goodness with all of their peers around the country and around the world, based on who's on the call today. So, Sunny, please go ahead and share what you have, which of course is more of an integration story than it is a day-to-day management story, right? So
sure, yes, thank you. And let me just say, I am blown away by what you got going out there in Orlando, Emily. Like, holy cannoli, that's incredible. I sent so many notes to my staff while you were talking. It's like, it's so good. Good. So, yeah, my name is Sunit Agrawal. I own Best Stock Homes Group, #1 team in California, for those of you that didn't know, in 2020. And Big Block Realty North, independent-ish brokerage in Sacramento. We have about 115 since I made this a couple of days ago, total agents, and about 52 on the team. And when I rolled out Monday, it was originally when we got the Zillow offers opportunity, and I just really needed something built out. But since then, every department in my organizations have just moved over to Monday. Before, okay, yeah, we can go back. So now, right, my inside sales agents use it, marketing uses it, VAs use it, listing coordinators use it, some agents use it, really just robust. And just like from this last talk that we heard, I got so many new ideas that it's just a constant evolution, and I love that about the product too. So before Monday, everything was kind of a mess. I felt like it was, you know, taped or put together like shoddily. Is that even a word? I don't know, but Google Sheets here, follow boss here. Oh, I sent you an email. Did you get it? Oh no. Okay. Well, is this done? Like, and as we grew, that became really painful. So yeah, poor centralized communication and just not knowing what was happening. And as we grew, and started selling more and more houses, and our staff just got bigger and bigger and bigger, I was just chasing people around and looking at my emails all day, and that was just a waste of time. And I needed a big solution to roll out Zillow offers. Okay. And as we all know, this space, at kind of a macro view of project management type softwares, is kind of crowded. And there's lots of options. And you could honestly get lost looking at the options forever. But I liked Monday because I wanted something easy with a good user interface, because that would increase the adoption rate by the independent agents, the independent contractors and the staff. If it doesn't look good, people are just going to not want to use it. I wanted to include automations whenever possible. For example, when an email comes in, I want certain information scraped out of there, right? I want to be able to hit a button and send an email out. I wanted to hold the departments and the staff really accountable to timelines that I had to have things done by. So due dates and the time tracking was initially a huge part of it. And so you can go on to the next one. So when we originally rolled out, it was only for Zillow offers. And this screen was very important to me at the time, just to measure productivity. I increased my staff and my budget by a lot, and I wanted to make sure people were working and doing a good job. So we were tracking what they were doing, which in this case was making CMAs. We were seeing how long it took, how many they were doing, and it helped with management. And I fired some people that just blew it thanks to this board, right? So it really gave me the visibility without having to live in this one department of the massive business. You can go to the next part. So, as we have evolved, I want to see how many deals we got going and how much money is coming in all the time, because I love being number one, right? So I look at this maybe every 30 minutes, right? Is how many deals we have, how much money is coming in, what departments are doing what, right? How many listings? There's so much data that is available from the dashboards. It's really powerful. You can bring in information from the different boards and groups. That the dashboards are super powerful. So here's an example of the original use case, because an email would come in with a property address. We would generate a CMA, and there's different, fields that it just goes through as the task proceeds. We receive it, scrape the email, right? Then we assign it. Who's it assigned to? Is it in progress? Does our head analyst need to review it? Do we need to make any kind of changes and hasn't been completed? We have an internal SOP where I want all these done in 2 or 3 hours. Is that being met? And I'm happy to say it's always met. And this was the cornerstone of that happening. Like, We will send the user dings upon dings if they're near being outside of the SOP. You can move on. Get it. So as we've gone on, I have used Monday now in every department in the business. When I was 2017, when it was in 2016, and I think Dan Ellison, who is on here, gave this to me. Dan, what's up if you're still here? Yep, Dan's on here twice. He gave me a spreadsheet when we were sitting in this little office, and I used it for years. And first it was just me as an agent, then a team of like 40 with a bunch of TCs in there. It was really messy. So moving this information to Monday has been a lifesaver. We can assign the TCs in here. We actually have a form that is in every lead in Follow Up Boss. So when the lead goes into escrow, they can press a button from the lead in Follow Up Boss, and it'll put all the information inside of Monday. If there's any kind of special arrangement on a commission or any kind of note that I need to add, I will do it in here. Right? Like, you guys know how it goes if you have the big teams. There's some special things here, something happened here. I need to let somebody know, and I want to make sure that they do know. I can add a note. It notifies everybody who needs to know, and it works really well. I don't allow the agents in that board. It's all for staff. Okay, but this is great. This is like a simple use case where I got rid of a subpar. I'm trying not to curse on here. Where I got rid of a subpar Google sheet and was able to move it over to Monday, and that whole process is very easy, right? Like, you just upload that sheet and it's done. And then as that moved on, we were able to add so many more moving pieces that this has become invaluable. I have it on my phone. I lay in bed and first thing in the morning, I'm looking at how many escrows, right? So this information has been great. You can move on. Here, once again, what do we have pending? How many homes are these agents selling? What are my best lead sources? How much money can I expect in my bank? How much closer am I to being number one for another year? So this is the kind of dashboards that really give us all that information. So, massive staff, bunch of departments. My ideas are flowing nonstop, right? And I just want to be able to fire something off and be able to assign it to somebody on staff to look at it, remind me about it, set a due date. Like, what's an example? Bios, right? So I want all the agents to have a bio and a video bio. So I've assigned that to one of my VAs, my head guy, and he is working on getting all the bios done with our copywriter. Insurance docs, right? I'm about to open up an insurance shop. I need to remind myself to finish those docs. So I have my office manager in there, and looks like we're overdue, about 10 days overdue. And she says, hey, Suneet, you have this every day. So that's been really good, just to be able to think of random tasks, fire them off, assign them to somebody, set a due date. So the results. The initial Zillow offers build out has saved my life, my team's brains, and I know many other partners across the US have also kind of gone with what we created with the help of Plum. So that's been great. And it's worked so well that we use it in every single part of the business. And after today, I got a bunch of more ideas and more parts that I'm gonna use it to. And it really helps keep us organized. Here's an example. Somebody was paid a wrong amount. I put a note, and it happens when you get big, it happens. Somebody was paid a wrong amount. And I put a note in Monday saying this needs to happen here, this needs to happen here. I see that the person was still paid wrong. I see their eyeballs looking at the task inside of Monday. I know exactly who to come down on and see if it's a good fit for the organization or not. And that kind of visibility really impacts our hiring and firing of staff, and it's been a huge life and time saver.
All right, Sunny, awesome job. I love watching you and Emily interact and share, and I think that's happening on a broader scale today as well. So great job, and I'm sure there'll be lots of questions at the end that you can answer. Sure. We are going to switch gears, everyone, and just provide just a brief overview. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on the clock over here. I want to make sure I leave enough time for questions. So I'm going to switch over to Monday.com, right? We've got to look at some software today. We can't just talk about it. And so hopefully everyone can see my screen. Yes? All right. So as we've discussed a couple of times, as a result of all this work we've done with various real estate customers, we've been able to develop a series of templates that can really just jumpstart an implementation of Monday. There's no turnkey one-size-fits-all template for any industry, specifically real estate, because every brokerage, every company does things slightly differently. But really, there's a common 60–70% that I think all of you share that and can benefit from. So instead of building from ground zero, you can really have a good solid foundation or even an idea generator to get you going. So as you can see here, we've got 11 templates currently focused on the residential space as well as the property management space, which we haven't spent a lot of time focusing on today. So in the next couple of minutes, I'm just going to give you a quick peek at some of those templates and just so we have a sense of them together. And then after the webinar, we'll be sending out a link so that those of you that have Monday or hopefully will soon have Monday can download these templates and begin your own Monday.com journey. So we'll start off with a simple coming soon residential board, very similar to what Emily shared earlier on. As you can see here, we've got every row, every item representing a property, important information about the property, square footage, numbers of beds and bathrooms, other information. Using what we call sub items in Monday, we've got a standard set of tasks and details that we can capture, and all of that is very configurable and customizable to your environment. And as a listing goes through its journey, it will go from coming soon into active and into subsequent steps in the process. So this is what we call a Monday.com board. And as you can see, very simple, very easy on the eye. And there's a little bit behind the scenes that we call automations. That's the brains that Emily was referring to. And that's where we can set up very simple rules. When the status changes to something else, move it to another section or notify another section, another person, or perhaps create a bunch of tasks or sub items to do based on that particular selection. Very flexible, very easy to set up. So that's the first of the templates that I wanted to just share with you. We then move on to the more detailed active listings and steps. Now you can see pricing is populated. And again, just more of that same flowing through the journey. Give us progress information based on the tasks that are assigned. Do we need to send a marketing email? Do we need to send a follow-up? Have we put the sign up? And there's a lot more to the right here, right? That you can keep adding. And we've just given you a start for that. But all of this very simple to set up, as I mentioned before. If you recall, Emily mentioned something called an offer portal. So when she and her team are receiving offers, they're coming in from third-party agents, not on her team, not necessarily set up in her Monday.com account. So how does she get those offers in? So this is a great example of how easy that is in Monday. So we've set up this offer board, this offer portal in Monday, which is again, one item per offer. But literally by clicking a button, that gets turned into a form. And all of a sudden, there's an offer portal form that the third-party agents can fill out. And that form can be shared anywhere as a link in an MLS account. So you can see all those questions that are relevant to a particular offer can be filled out. Documents can be attached. As you see here, the contract, the addendums. and steps the agent through the process so that the receiving brokerage gets everything the same way, consistently, with all the information, and there's not a lot of follow-up and back and forth. So that was the offers board, the offer portal. I'm now going to just switch over to that roll-up view, that dashboard view. So again, as you saw with both Sunny and Emily, the real goodness is in the dashboard. That's where they see that cockpit for their operations. Sunny wakes up with it. Emily goes to bed looking at it. It's kind of part of their day to day, and it gives them that real time status of their team and their progress. And so this is an interactive live representation of transactions. All of these are very easily customizable. And the real beauty is this is not just a static dashboard. When you click on something, say in this case, we chose seller properties. So here we see all the seller-based disbursements that are ready to go. So very easy to use, very interactive, and all built from the foundation up. So that kind of completes just a sneak peek of our residential templates. And what I wanted to just spend in one more minute on is just talking a little bit about property management, because I did see several folks from that side of the business sign up. So here's an example of how Monday can be used in a different way within the residential space. And in this case, it's property management. So here we have a series of properties, happens to be in the Atlanta area, that a given company might be managing on behalf of several other organizations. So each one of these items, instead of being an individual property, might be an apartment building or a large office block. And so we have all this information here for those, and we can set up multiple views. Here we have the list view. We can just pivot over and see a map view of that same information. Again, it's automatic. Just put in the address, you generate the map view. We can have a Gantt view to see where are we with those different buildings in their life cycle of being remodeled in this case. So a great bird's eye view of how a property management company can look at different large properties. But then of course, there's the actual work on those properties. So here we have an example of an individual property board. And so this is one property, 1022 Hope Street. I chose the name. And in this case, we're looking at instead of every item being an actual property, it's an apartment in that building. So we have several apartments, and where are they? We know we've got to do carpeting work. We know we've got to do painting work. Where are they in that life cycle? And so depending on what status we choose for a given property and a given apartment within it, it will define different tasks to be completed. So in this case, we've got deluxe carpeting needed and only basic painting. So what happened was all of the relevant tasks for that were defaulted, and important relevant information in terms of budget and effort were included as part of that. So every one of these apartments needed different work done, hence the different selections that we've made. And just as we saw with the residential side, once that all rolls up, we see a bird's eye view of the property, 1022 Hope Street. How much was our budget? How much have we spent? How many apartments have we actually gotten through to completion? Which project manager is doing a better job getting their apartments remodeled? Something we haven't touched on yet, how is the work being assigned? It looks like Pedro's got too much. He's got 6 apartments assigned to him this week. We need to kind of redistribute that work to someone else, so, or perhaps to another week, just to address that issue. Bang, it's done in real time. And of course, we want to see that very detailed view of the apartments and where are they, where is every apartment, where is every step in each of those apartments. And all of this is very well and easily supported by Monday.com. So just to round that up, as you can see, a lot of versatility to the platform in terms of what you track, the level that you track it at, whether you keep it self-contained, whether you integrate with other systems that you need and are used to using. And that really is what makes Monday.com so versatile. And that's why we're so excited on this call to share just really the tip of the iceberg of what Monday can deliver to customers around the world. So with that in mind, I'm just going to go back over here. Oops.
All right.
And
Amazing. We have 5 minutes.
for some Q&A. Yes.
Oh my gosh, we have a lot of questions. So we've been hard at work trying to answer some questions on the fly while the content's going on. So please take a look to see.
Yeah, and so let me just touch on this, Kat, just while we wrap up, just as a reminder to everyone.
Please.
Since we've shared a lot, we want to make sure everyone's able to take advantage of the templates that I just reviewed and very quickly, but gave you a taste of. So all of those templates will be available to anyone that has been attending this webinar, and on top of that, we're offering what we're calling a double discount, 10% off both your Monday.com license subscription as well as in professional services that we can offer as Purple Plum. So that's really a lot of value there. No matter what scale you are, whether you're an independent brokerage or a large team, happy to offer this great value to you. So let's look at some questions that we can try and answer here, Kat.
Absolutely. Okay. So just to reiterate to everyone, all the templates that we talked about, I think there's over 10. We are going to be sharing those with our attendees today. Just very quickly, can it integrate with dot loop? Do we know that, dot loop?
Sure. So yes, any particular piece of software that has an open API or has existing integrations with platforms such as Zapier or Integromat, and dot loop is one of them, can very easily be integrated. And obviously it depends on your specific circumstances, but as a general rule, there are hundreds of relevant integrations that are applicable.
Yeah, just to know, anything that has an open API can be integrated into the Monday.com system. So you name it, open API, we got you covered. There's a path to integration there.
Exactly.
All right, cool. Is there a way to manage ROI on marketing campaigns? Different side of the house.
Anyone on our guests want to touch on that before we do? Right, Emily?
I was going to say, I have a thought about, like, if you built out a dashboard for, we have our brokerage dashboard where we're already reporting on lead sources. So if you're looking at your spend, so if you have that in a board and you're tracking all of your different spends, and then you're comparing that to what's come in, like how many leads have I generated from this source versus how many have I closed, then you're easily able to track, and you could, depending on how you've set up your boards, because again, this is a rabbit hole in an art project, so it goes as deep as you want to go, but you could do that sort by month, or you could sort by, it just depends again on how our projection board does some of that for us. And our closing board is tracking only the closing part of that, but there's a way to integrate all of that data. You just have to input your spends.
So the team that originally got me hip to Monday, one of their guys is in here, Brian, who is posting where they did this, and we should get them on a webinar too, because they're doing a lot of incredible things with Monday as well. But sounds like they were able to do that. So good job, Brian, and you got a shout out. So you owe me something.
All right, guys. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news and cut the conversation short, but we gotta wrap. We have a ton of other questions. Allow us to contact you via email with more detailed answers, so we can continue the conversation offline. Big, huge thank you, Emily, Sunny, you're superstars. It was amazing to see what you're doing with the platform. Super impressive. Gidon, thank you for your work. And just a reminder, come join us or learn more, get deeper into Monday. 10% off, more licenses, new licenses and services. Respond to our post-webinar email, or you can just email the man himself at gidon@purpleplumtech.com. It's been a pleasure. Again, thank you so much for joining us.
Sunny, Emily, awesome. Thank you, Kat.
Reach out to these people, guys. Reach out. They're the best. Get on at Monday is your solution. Just call them. Don't wait.
He's the guy.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, everyone, for participating.
Appreciate it.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone. Thanks.
Bye-bye.